St. Louis, what is going on? This weekend has been insane. There's been rumors, there's been all eyes on us, and I like the attention, but I would like to see something actually happen besides waiting around. And this is all coming up on Locked on Blues.
You're Locked on Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Thank you guys for making Locked on Blues your first listen every single day. My name is Haley Simon, and I am your host of Locked on Blues. I've been covering the NHL now for about 5 seasons, and it all started off in that 2019 season when the St. Louis Blues won the Stanley Cup. And I love everything about hockey. I love all the drama that hockey has. I love every single part of it. But one thing that I'm not so happy about right now is the silence between the St. Louis Blues and the Philadelphia Flyers. Over the weekend, everything kind of just exploded in terms of rumors and speculation, and I'm here to set the facts straight. Nothing has happened between the Philadelphia Flyers and the St. Louis Blues in the supposed biggest trade ever. All right, let me go say this. It's not going to be the biggest trade ever because no trade is even happening right now, folks. Torey Krug, he won't waive his no trade clause for Philly. Yes. The man, the myth, the legend, the guy that we knew going into this offseason that we were going to get rid of is Torey Krug. Now, he is not going to waive this for Philly. He might waive it for another team. I would speculate Boston. You know, he did play on Boston for all those seasons. And Boston is a really big win-nail type of team, even though they didn't do well in the postseason. But I feel like for a team like that, he would 100% waive it. For Philadelphia, I don't think that he sees a future there because, again, they're not a team that's going to win right away. They're not a team that is going to be a cup contending team within the next couple seasons. So I think for him, as he is older and probably nearing his final couple seasons of the NHL, he definitely maybe is thinking, hey, I want to be on a team where I can have success rather than, okay, like, let's go move wherever. You know, it's one of those things where you can't be mad at him. It's frustrating 100%. Us as fans, we can be frustrated. Us as fans, we can say, oh, well, why isn't he just moving? But the Blues gave Torey Krug this contract with the no trade clause in it. And all he is doing is just utilizing what's already in his contract. This is his legal right. He doesn't have to waive it if he doesn't want to play for Philadelphia. And I think a lot of people, they see this as him being stubborn or drama-filled or whatever you want to call it. I don't see it that way. I see it as, you know what, he doesn't want to play there, and that's his right not to. There are so many players in the National Hockey League that have not waived their no-trade clauses for specific teams. And people give them a lot of backlash, but that's why they have the no trade clause, so they don't have to end up somewhere where they don't want to play. Now, I do think it's a little bit awkward staying with a team that doesn't kind of want you, but I think Krug even knows that this offseason he will be dealt to another franchise. Sorry about my cat's tail. Co-host. But I don't take it as he's saying, okay, it's either St. Louis or Philadelphia. I think he's saying it's not going to be Philadelphia. I don't think it's going to be St. Louis I'm going to stay with. Let's go see about the other options. And I think that's where he's at. Now, Doug Armstrong has been really quiet, and I don't know if I like that. Maybe he's working on things, but hopefully he moves Krug so we can get rid of that awful, awful contract and free up some cap space. That is number one, and that is why I said going into this offseason, when I first began doing Locked on Blues about a month ago, that I wanted to see him moved for the cap space. Yes, you can respect him as a player. You can respect what he's done for us here in St. Louis, which hasn't been that much, but you can still respect it, okay? And you got to just trust this process. Another team will want him. I promise you. He has a big body. He's still aggressive on the ice. He will be fine. But if he doesn't want to play for Philadelphia, there is no forcing him to do that. Now, there is a possibility, and this is where on Locked On Blues we do have open discussion here. Let's go say Philadelphia found a team that could flip Krug and pick him up. Well, in that case, yes, trade him to Philly, have Philly flip him over, boom. So that is still a possibility. So I don't want you guys to think that right now nothing's going to happen between these two teams of Torey Krug. But he's just doing what he's legally allowed to do. And can you blame a person? Why would you want to play on a team? And no offense to anybody, but why would you want to play on a team that is not going to be a cup contending team while you're trying to finish out your career? It doesn't make any sense. You need to go to that win now team. Even the Florida Panthers, that's another team that I thought, hey, that could potentially work. The Carolina Hurricanes, you just need to go to a team that is established. I don't see them going back to Vegas, so I don't see that happening. But there are plenty of teams in the National Hockey League that are win now type of teams. It's a matter of fact of, will Army be able to compose a trade deal? Will a team pick him up before the draft? Like, there's just so many things that, have to go into consideration. And then lastly, will he waive his no trade clause? There has been reports saying that he's been considering waiving it. Now, I don't think he's all of a sudden like, you know what, Philadelphia, good cheesesteaks, let's do it. I don't think that's where he's at. I think where he's at is this. He might go to Doug Armstrong or his agent, and then his agent will go to Armstrong, actually, and say, you know what, I will waive it, but these are the teams I want to play for. And he can let Doug do some work then. Right now, that is all we know on Torey. We don't know anything else. And what I need to address here is this. I am so sick of seeing reports being like, Krug said this and that. We don't know what he said. And unless there's an official statement, folks, from Torey Krug himself or his agent or Army or anybody that's involved in the higher-ups, we don't know. I'm pretty sure he's on vacation right now. I'm actually pretty certain he's on vacation right now with his family. Yeah, so I highly doubt he's going to go onto social media and be like, hey guys, I'm on vacation relaxing, but no. One thing though, and some of you Twitter detectives have figured this out, is that he did delete St. Louis, so STL, out of his bios. I don't know how important that is. I delete things off of my social media all the time. It does not mean anything has changed. Maybe he's playing some games everyone's speculating. Let's go create some, talk. I don't know. But what I do know is how awesome my friends at Athletic Greens are. Athletic Greens are the best. If you want to eat right and have your daily nutrients, Athletic Greens are the way to go. Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/NHL network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/NHL network to take ownership over of your health and pick up ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Awesome. We love Athletic Greens, and they are always donating to different organizations, so we love them here on Locked On Blues. But what we need to talk second. I am moving, by the way, guys, in just a couple of days. So this Wi-Fi situation is going to be all figured out. Look at all my boxes. I'm literally about to be moving. So please do not panic for those on YouTube that just saw that. Or if you're listening, if I cut out, it's literally because I am moving. And yeah, so it's a mess. But whatever. Back to the trade rumors that are also a mess. Whoa, look at those transitions, Hale. Okay. So, yes. We talked about Krug. He's not waiving his no trade clause. But as I did mention, he could always potentially go to Philly, on air quotes there, and then get flipped somewhere else. So do not panic. Who will we potentially get in St. Louis? We will potentially get Kevin Hayes, who is a center. He can play wing, but mainly as a center. and then defender Travis Sanheim. I will get into more detail on them, but what will we give? Well, hypothetically, it would have been Torey Krug, but we don't know about that now. And then most likely a first round draft pick, which hopefully would be the 29th overall and not our 25th. I, for one, do not want to get rid of any of our first round draft picks. But unfortunately, I don't make the decisions, and most likely they will be taken away from us. Well, at least maybe one out of the three. But I'm not going to panic yet. Nothing has happened. What I realize here on Locked On Blues is sometimes I get a little too, I don't want to say mad, but I'm going to say mad because I do not want Army to mess this up. This is our most loaded draft since 2015, folks. Okay, that is a big deal here. And I want those young prospects. And I could even make the argument that in the first round and then halfway through the second round of this draft, these guys can all seriously change a franchise. These players are so good and talented. And it's no offense to Kevin Hayes, who is a little bit older in this league, and Travis Sanheim, who's 27. I want us to get younger. I don't want us to be an older team. And that is what we're looking at. Everybody on our team is old. Not like everybody, but most of the guys, they're old. And the whole point of hockey is to develop the younger guys, make them good, and then when it's time to go, you send them out the door and you say thank you. You do not want a team that the majority of the age on the team is like near their 30s or their 30s. No, like it really does upset me. I shouldn't be this upset about it. And yes, now I am looking up ages of all the guys on the team because I am okay. So Benner is 29, Blay is 27. Oh no, everyone's getting, oh no, even Folk is 31. Krug is 32. Like, he has a lot to talk about, by the way, for being a 32-year-old in the National Hockey League. I'm so sorry. Letty, 32. But I'm trying to see. Perico, 30. Neighbors is young. He's 21. Letty, I said. Shen, 31. Robert Thomas is young. He's only 23, so that's fine. But, like, okay, hold on. And Walker's 29. Like, there's so many old guys on the team. Oh, no. Berzuto, 34. I mess around with, like, all their names, and I'm like, I hope people get my nicknames. But they're all old. Well, besides a couple. But they're mostly all old. Stop it. Stop getting old guys. This looks like, to me, a baseball roster because all the baseball players are older, but they can still play because baseball isn't the same as beating up guys when you're playing hockey. I'm not dissing baseball. I'm just saying, why is there only like multiple guys? Like, there's like maybe 3 guys that are in their early 20s. What are we doing here, St. Louis? What is the point of acquiring a Kevin Hayes or a Travis Sanheim when you could use that draft pick that you're going to end up giving up for a young, talented prospect that could be the future of this team? I don't want a quick solution. I want a future, St. Louis. Pretty soon, all of those guys that got us to the cup are going to be off the team because they're getting old. And we're in a new time of St. Louis Blues hockey. We're not that same team. We do have some players that were on that team. Benner, he has a lot of time left. Goalies can play forever, I feel like. But other than that, you're going to eventually need to just let go of some of these guys. Now, what I will say is this. Robert Thomas, face of the team. Love him. He's our future. He is everything. Jake Neighbors, same thing here. But if you think for 1 second that I'm going to say yay, we're going to win the trade because we got rid of Krug and we got Hayes and Sanheim. I'm not going to say that. There is no winning when you're giving up a first-round draft pick. I am sorry to anybody that thinks otherwise, but that is me being brutally honest. For Philadelphia, it's a win for them. For us here in St. Louis, it would be a major loss because those two players come with baggage. They come with baggage. Sanheim also has a horrible contract as well. And Hayes has been non-existent the past couple seasons. So despite the whole, we're getting guys that are bigger and better, whatever you think, that is not the solution. The solution would just to be try to get rid of Krug to another team, free up some cap space, and make the best selections possible on draft night, which is only 2 days away. I do think Kevin Hayes has good leadership, and it's not like he's a bad player, right? He's not. He just, and it's not, I hate saying things like this because it makes it sound like I'm insensitive to players and that, but at the end of the day, it's analytics, what I see and how they play. He is not worth a first round draft pick. And I hate that I'm saying that because he's gone through so much off the ice and it's, I feel for him. He's a likable person. I just personally don't think that he is worth a first round draft pick. You want to add Sanheim in there? I mean, sure, but you're getting rid of a guy that has an awful contract in a Torey Krug just to pick up a guy that has an awful contract in Travis Sanheim. Not a fan of that. Would have I preferred Scott Laughton? Yes, but that deal didn't work out. There's so many factors that go into trades. And it's a very mutual thing between players and teams. And it's one of those things where, it's stressful. But before I talk to you guys about stressful with hockey, I'm going to talk to you about how to unstress yourself when it comes to your vehicle. For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right. The first time around, just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and all the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit only, available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Draft is 2 days away. 2 days away is the draft. Bum, bum, bum. Tonight is the NHL awards, by the way. It's Monday, I should have told you the date. Monday, June 26th. Hello. NHL awards are tonight. Also, I wanted to tell you guys that we have a familiar face. Where is my post here on Locked On Blues? Unless the Blues deleted it, which honestly, that would have been such a big mood. Okay, here's the post. And this is from the official at St. Louis Blues. I honestly had a heart attack. I thought this was about to be a trade rumor. So whoever is the admin of this Twitter account, you were doing good work because you got me there. Here's some great news to start your week. Alexander Steen is coming back. And Steener joins the Blues hockey ops staff. Let's go. Huge W. Obviously, we love having familiar faces, and with a player like Steener, who you absolutely love. And, I was buzzing when I saw that. I was like, let's go. So that was a good part of St. Louis, but also scared me. I was like, oh my gosh. Also, Chris Johnston also posted today that there has been no moves made with anybody's waivers. So obviously that's a little indication about Torey that there's been nothing yet. So that's been like the little update situation. But the draft 2 days away right now, as of today, Monday, June 26th at 2:30 p.m. We got to be precise on this one, folks. The St. Louis Blues have the 10th overall pick, the 25th overall pick, and the 29th overall pick in the draft. I still want my boy, Zachary Benson, at our number 10 overall, or a Will Smith if he fall. I doubt he's going to fall. Or an Axel Standel Perica. But right now, we're still in a good spot. And I have to remind myself that despite the rumors, if the draft were to be right at this minute, we would still have our 3 first round overall draft picks. Right? No, I'm losing my mind. I'm so stressed. St. Louis, this is stressful. Every single time my phone goes off and I get a notification that has anything to do with NHL or the Blues or anything, I panic and I'm like, okay, we're just adding some guys to the front office. Oh, let's go look at some draft headshots. Like, you get what I'm saying? These Twitter admins know what they are doing to the full extent. Do I think a move will be made before the draft? Yes. Do I think that there are 2 possible outcomes? Yes. Hale, what are they? Let me tell you. Before the draft, I think we will be getting Kevin Hayes. That's not a locked in. I'm like 80% sure we're going to get Kevin Hayes. What will the return be? Hopefully not a first round draft pick, maybe like a second round or something, but Philadelphia doesn't have any second rounders. So that could work potentially. All I know is something will be done. Army hopefully is grinding. Hopefully he's cooking. Hashtag let Doug cook. But I don't necessarily know if it's going to be this huge trade. There's been rumors of every single, even Neighbors was rumored. And I'm like, why are we bringing Jake Neighbors into this? Every single guy has been linked to this trade, even Binghamton. I'm like, oh my gosh, these are the 2 teams that don't need goalies. We have a perfectly good goalie who won you a Stanley Cup. They have Carter Hart. I'm pretty sure both of these teams are not looking for goalies. But this is what's going on right now. Twitter is like one of those things where rumors spread just like that. And I'm reading these things and I'm like, wait. Well, I'm like, whoa. Is this play? Is this play about me? No, I'm joking. It was one of those memes. But seriously, you guys, what you see on Twitter does not mean that it is real. You have to look at sources. Come to me if you guys have any questions here at Locked On Blues. You can find us on Twitter at Locked On Blues. You can find me on Twitter at Haley T. Simon. For anything that you guys see that you don't truly believe in, you don't know if it's true or not, ask me. And I will tell you if this person's a source, if this person is just making things up. Because this is how things get confusing. And on today's episode, sometimes I will do this. I'll post on Twitter. It will either be on my Locked On Blues or my Haley T. Simon. Honestly, I do this because I want you guys to feel like you can come to me for your questions, since this is kind of a confusing time. I had an emergency episode I did on a Saturday addressing all of this stuff, and I got a lot of questions. I respond to most of you on Twitter, but today, with all the updates, I'm like, you know what? Let me go talk to you, St. Louis. Okay. So I like this question. This is from Blues Hockey Podcast. If the trade goes through, what can St. Louis Blues fans expect from Hayes and Sanheim? Well, you can expect big bodies on the ice. In terms of productivity, I'm not sure if Hayes is going to have a good season. He's been kind of on the decline. But from Sanheim, I mean, he's not the best defender. He's not the worst, but he is a big body. And yeah, that's I can't say they're going to change the team because they're not. Somebody said Sanheim is just as irrelevant and soft as the other members of the Blues defense. I can tell you guys are going to really love this one if it happens. Phil said, what are the Blues expected to send to Philly for Hayes? as I said, maybe a second rounder, maybe a prospect, but yeah, we're cutting back and we're good. Charles said, did these Flyers and Blues trade leaks over the weekend on Twitter hurt the trades from being completed? I would say yes and no. I think that in a way it's a good thing because at least Torey Krug can see, hey, Philadelphia will take you, but not in totality. It doesn't matter if it was leaked or not leaked. This would have still been the same issue. They're dealing with a player that does not want to waive his no trade clause, which he has every right to do. We're dealing with two teams that both have value in a sense. Now, one team might, like us, the Blues, we have more value than Philadelphia right now because we have those first round draft picks. And Philadelphia has some players that are not that great, but big bodies on the ice, something like that. But I don't think a leak is going to jeopardize the trades. I think that this would have happened no matter what. Because if Krug wasn't going to want to go, then it wouldn't have happened. If anything else happens, folks, I will make sure to make another emergency episode. And I was on, just to let you guys know, Locked On NHL, which is our national show. And I was talking about basically what I talked today, a little bit more of a summary rather than explaining it all. So you guys can check that out on the Locked On NHL channel. That's all for today's episode. Again, my name is Haley Simon, and hopefully something is cooking in our favor. We want good cooking. And I will see you tomorrow, and let's go Blues.